Torah Life Ministries, come out of the world.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to reply to some comments I got for a video I made. It was actually a clip of a doctor I know who's 94 years old, and he's on a vegan diet, and he doesn't eat any animals. And he was talking about this new thing called the Carnivore Diet, and he was talking about the original diet of man in Genesis 1:29. It was a 1-minute clip, but some people replied that, the Bible doesn't say we can't eat meat. And I think many people missed the point because this fellow was talking about the carnivore diet. A lot of people may not understand what it is, and some of you are actually doing a carnivore diet, and you're showing some improvements in your health, you're losing weight, and so on. So I want to address both of these. So, and this is a biblical topic and a health topic. It's a combination. So that's why I'm putting here my both channels, my health channel and also my Bible channel. So basically, a carnivore diet might mean different things to different people, but what we're addressing, or what the fellow was addressing that I posted, is the most common understanding of a carnivore diet is that's all you're eating. You're just eating meat. That's your diet. You're not eating anything else. And there are some other people that might categorize a carnivore diet as I just eat a lot of meat, but I eat other things. But when we talk about the carnivore diet today, there's a very popular person out there named Jordan Peterson that's a high advocate of this, and there's some other people out there that promote this. It's gaining a lot of popularity. But a carnivore diet doesn't mean you're just eating a diet with some meat. It doesn't mean you're just not a vegan. It means either all or the majority of your diet is meat. And the concept is if you eat a lot of high fat and a lot of high protein, you're going to lose weight, and it's going to help you overcome your health issues. So I wanted to have Dr. Fred Bishy, who was in the 1-minute clip that I had, just explain to people that, yes, you might experience some changes in your health. You might lose weight and so on at the beginning. But long term, this diet will kill you much earlier than you should die. It's not a healthy diet. And it's not even healthy to play around with this just to try to just lose weight. If you want to lose weight, stop eating so much. You don't need to switch to a diet of just eating high fat, high protein foods. There's so many diets out there in the world today, and they all work because they all have something in common. They're leaving something out. So the point of the video is not really about should you be a vegan. It's about the carnivore diet is not healthy. Now, if you want to look at it from a biblical standpoint, I'll put some links below to Dr. Fred Bishy and even myself talking about this from a biblical standpoint. But, okay, so the original food for man in the Bible was Genesis 1:29, that we would eat fruits and vegetables. The design of our bodies is that we're frugivores, and that's the design. And in all of nature, if you give an animal a food that goes outside their design, they get sick and they die if they keep eating that food. They're certainly not thriving the way they should be thriving. But again, if you take somebody that's eating the standard American diet filled with junk food and processed food and everything else, you can put them on any type of diet that eliminates a lot of the bad things, and they're going to show some improvement. But what's the best diet long term? So in Genesis 9:3 in the Bible, God said man can now eat meat. He can eat animals now, but he did it with some restrictions. Don't eat the blood. He also talked about not being a glutton all throughout the scriptures. And we got to look at why he did it, because it wasn't a reward for man's good behavior. Man was so sinful, they got kicked out of the diet, and all the amazing fruits and vegetables weren't around. So in the mercy of our wonderful Creator, he allowed them to eat meat. And with those restrictions, he said, do not eat pork. So a lot of people promoting the carnivore diet today are just loading up on pork, overeating on it, eating tremendous amounts of it. And they lose weight, and they go, oh, this diet's working for me. When I ate a vegan diet, I didn't lose weight. Losing weight is an issue of overeating or eating too much processed food. It's not an issue of vegan or even meat. But the people that replied and said they do great on a carnivore diet, you've missed the whole point of the video. You've missed the warning of the video. And this is such an important thing, and such a thing so many Christians or so-called believers lack, is the understanding of the temple, the tabernacle, their own body that Yah created, and He wants us to be healthy, cleansed, and pure. But you continue to stuff things in your body that's not supposed to be there, and justify it, and think it's okay. And it's sad that non-believers or people that don't believe in the Bible have a better understanding of health and the body and taking care of it and keeping it healthy than most so-called believers. And it's a hard message to put into practice, because a lot of people don't want to give up what they're addicted to, and people are addicted to eating dead animals. They're addicted to it, and addiction is hard to break. It's like me telling somebody, smoking's bad for you, and they say, well, I've been smoking 10 years and I don't have cancer, so I guess it's not bad for me. You're missing the point. The point is, here I am trying to tell you from whether it's scientific, whether it's from health, whether it's from personal experience, whether it's from experience of thousands of people that people have helped to eat the ideal diet for our bodies and to eliminate the things that are bad for you long term. And people want to argue with that. So the video, I didn't post it to try to promote even 100% vegan raw food diet, that you must eat this. Never said eating animals was a sin, but the carnivore diet is not a healthy diet. So for those of you that say you're doing good with the carnivore diet, let me tell you this. You got to pray about what you're doing. Pray about what you're doing. If you're thinking that, some people say to me, well, why would our Creator give us meat or allow us to eat animals if it was bad for us? Well, I will reverse that and say, why, if the original diet for man was fruits and vegetables, would you stop eating it? If our Creator said fruits and vegetables were the food for man, why would you exclude that from your diet? And of course, everyone's going to say, well, I can care less about what the Bible says. I can care less about what doctors say. I'm going to do what's working for me. And I know when I eat fruits and vegetables, I put on weight. And when I know I eat, let's say a vegan diet, I put on weight. But I know when I go to carnivore, I'm not putting on weight. I'm losing weight. I'm overcoming my issues. So listen, if you have issues on a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet or a raw food diet, the answer for long-term health is not to just stop eating fruits and vegetables and start eating meat. That's not the answer. The answer is find out why you're having problems. With a little investigation, I find out people are eating not just fruits and vegetables, they're eating a lot of processed food, a lot of fried food, a lot of microwave food, calling themselves vegans. That's not the way to do this. So you have to look at the overall picture. You can't just say, well, the Bible says I could do this, and I shouldn't do this, and this is working for me. Understand where the messages are coming from, and understand who's promoting what. And the greatest thing you have to help you make the decision, look at the world. Look at the world. The majority of people in this world today are eating and consuming animals or animal products. Certainly, they are not the way that our Creator intended them to be. Chicken nuggets from the store or fried chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken is not what our Creator wanted us to do to purify our tabernacle. You are literally killing yourself when you put Kentucky Fried Chicken in your body. When you go eat a chicken McNugget, you're killing yourself. You're contributing to the sickness, the unwellness, and your death. It's not what your body was designed to take in, and your body has to work in a tremendous way to get rid of it. And the proof of the world is how many people are suffering from diseases that they would not be suffering from if they weren't eating these processed foods. However, processed foods are not only animals, it's also the everyday chemical food that's made up that people are consuming that might be labeled vegan. You can't go wrong with the foods we were designed to eat, the fruits and the vegetables. If you eat them the way our Creator designed us to eat them and not overconsume them. If you're going to add chemicals to these foods and deadly drugs to these foods that are known to cause cancer and other disease, and then you spray that on the food and eat that food, yes, you've now taken that food that was good for you and you've made it unhealthy. Well, when you eat an animal that we weren't designed to eat in the beginning to begin with, and our bodies are not designed to digest, people have this mentality, well, I got away with it, so I guess I'll just keep doing it. Well, through the grace and mercy of our Creator, He allowed us to get away with it this long until we figured it out so we could stop doing those things and put ourselves in danger. But when you consume things we weren't designed with, that are eating things that are poison, that poison gets in their body. And then when you eat that animal, it gets in your body. I understand addiction. I understand it's hard to break addictions. I understand it's easier to make excuses and continue in your vices or whatever you're doing that's contributing to what's your so-called comfort. But just slow down for a second. If you want to look at it from a biblical standpoint, if you want to look at it from a worldly standpoint with the health and disease and statistics of cancer and everything else, or if you just want to treat your body the best you can treat it for long-term success, eating the carnivore diet, a diet of high fat, high protein, especially exclusively, but even with that, is not good for long-term health. Okay? Somebody says, but I feel great and I'm losing weight. I know people that smoke crack and feel great and they're losing weight, but it's creating an addiction that's created through stimulation, and it's not good in the long run. And the other side of that, some of you said, oh, you tried a vegan diet, but it didn't work, so then you started eating a meat-based diet. Let me tell you this. If you were on a vegan diet or a raw food diet, and you felt it wasn't working for you, and then you started eating a carnivore diet, if you did not get tremendously sick, you were not doing the vegetarian diet the right way. First of all, if you're doing the vegetarian diet the right way, it's not going to not work. It's going to work. But the fact that you would be able to change to such a radical change and eat and consume animal meat and not feel sick, because that's a very deadly thing to do, is to be eating a clean, pure diet of fruits and vegetables and then switch to eating animals practically overnight and not get sick, not have a major detox. That just speaks that you aren't doing the vegetarian diet in the right way. The healthier you are, the cleaner you become. When you change over to start eating drug-infested animals and high fat and high protein, you're going to get sick. Or you're supposed to get sick. You're not supposed to just not have any issues. And what the problem is, you're probably eating a vegan diet of a lot of junk food, a lot of processed food, and everything else. So you can go switch over to your chicken McNuggets or your drugged up animals, or even if they're not drugged up, it's still a problem. So again, it's not a sin to eat meat, but the Bible says the drunkard and the glutton go hand in hand. To overeat on anything is no good. And if you're eating a carnivore diet, you're overeating on meat. You're overeating on animals. And most people are overeating in general anyway. But it's you're missing the point if you're saying, well, we don't have to be vegans, we could eat meat. That's not what the video is about. That's not what this video is about. This video is not about can you eat meat. You can do whatever you want. The idea is, or the purpose is, what is the best way to eat for long-term health? And the so-called carnivore diet that's very popular now, that some of you might be experiencing some benefits from, is not the best diet to eat overall. And I'll put a link to another video below here that that explains exactly why that is. And you do what you want to do. If that's what you want to continue doing, do it. But show me, show me the results. Show me somebody who's been eating a carnivore diet, exclusively animals, for over 10 years, for over 5 years, exclusively, that's thriving. Show me that. And it's this is the situation we're in. So stop pulling your biblical verses to support what you're doing. Stop using your extreme examples of somebody you heard or know who knows somebody who knows somebody, and just start getting to the point of what we're talking about here. It's not about meat versus not meat. It's about health versus sickness and disease. And my goal is not to convince you all to be vegetarians or vegans. My goal, as your brother in Yeshua, and as a health teacher and as somebody who suffers from disease, is that people will not suffer from diseases. Because once they get in the doctor's care, often the doctors don't know about health and it goes down the drain from there. So I want you to be healthy. I have no agenda. I want you to be healthy. If you want to eat a diet that has fruits and vegetables in it and also has meat in it, and you do it the right way, go ahead. But if you want to eat a diet high in protein, high in fat, and eat exclusively animals and claim that's okay, it's my responsibility as somebody who has the information to tell you it's not okay. It's not healthy long term, and you're asking for a disease if you continue to do that. So you could do what you want with that information, but my goal is that, and my hope is that you would be wise and eat the food that our Creator designed us to eat. So this video isn't here to condemn anyone. It's not my job to condemn people. But if you feel condemned by something, just pray about it, really. And look, the body doesn't need more, it needs less. People are overeating. The Bible talks about gluttony. It doesn't talk about undereating. And the less we eat, the more clean our body is going to be, because our body was designed to be a self-healing organism. It was designed to heal itself when we give it what it needs. And the body really is a pipe system. And when we keep the pipes clean and clear, it's going to work the way it was meant to work. You have one pipe that's going to let the good stuff go in, and then you have the lymph system, which is another pipe system that's going to get the bad stuff out. And that's it. And the rest of the part of the organs of the body are going to break things down to get through those pipes. When you eat foods that are known to clog up the pipes, it's just like the plumbing in your house. And this is why when people fast, and the Bible talks about fasting, it's about slowing down and giving your body a chance to do what it was designed to do. And then how far you get away from that fast on a daily basis is, first we start with maybe liquids, then we start with maybe fruits, then we might add herbs, then we might add spices and all these things, and then you get to steamed vegetables, and then you might get to baked vegetables, and then you might get to baked things that maybe baked fish, and then you get into fried, and then you get into microwaved. So the more farther you go down the scope, the more it's clogging up your pipes and taking the focus off your body being clean and cleansed and just making it filthy. So whatever you want to call it, and in the New Age community, they might call it chi. In other areas, they call it energy. But the design that we were meant to have is being clogged up in essence. And the body now has to work much harder than it was ever designed or ever intended to on a regular basis to clean up and heal. And the goal should be, if we're to source out the highest quality foods that have the most nutritions, but at the same time leave the least amount of work left over after consuming those foods. And those are the foods that we find in the purest form in Genesis 1:29, raw, ripe, fresh, organic fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. But even those, if you eat it sprayed, if you overconsume it, and all these things, a problem. But when you get down to the far end of the spectrum, you have fasting, you have juicing, you have raw foods, or blended foods, and then raw foods, and then you get into steamed vegetables, and then you can get into baked vegetables, and then you get into fried vegetables and microwave vegetables. The average person out there, even eating the carnivore diet or whatever kind of diet you want to call it, a lot of them are eating fried and microwaved animals, which is the most clogging to the system. It's the hardest things for the body to digest. And it's the farthest thing you could put in your body from a so-called food standpoint that's going to get away from fasting. And when we do that on a regular daily basis, and we never give our body a chance to rest and fast and heal and cleanse, we're going to consistently move, I believe, move ourselves farther and farther away from putting ourselves in a position to have the communication with our Creator as if when we're fasting. So it doesn't mean you're a sinner and you're going to hell if you eat meat. It doesn't mean if you eat Kentucky Fried Chicken, you're never going to have a prayer answered. But when you're in a fasting state, a pure state, and a cleansing state, everything the Creator designed for your body is going to work better physically, emotionally, and I do believe spiritually. All right? So I don't want you to feel condemned. I want you to feel motivated to just getting healthier and getting cleansed and drawing closer to Him. All right? Put your comments and questions below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and shalom, shalom.
Torah Life Ministries come out of the world. Messiah people seek the truth.